Let's look at 4.2. Q4.2 also visited the Denver Zoo during his stay in America. The layout plan of the zoo, showing some animal enclosures and a map of the surrounding area, is given in Annex D. Go find Annex D. I got mine here. It's not printed very well, but we can still use it. Okay. Use Annex D to answer the following questions. First question. Determine the total number of venues that are available for services and education. Okay, so we go to the key. There's services, there's education, so S and E. Let's go find all the S's and E's that we can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, you need to use color by all means. I am just using my pen for now. So there's 9. Okay, so we go here and we say 9. Okay, so not a difficult question, just making sure that we can interpret the information that's given. Then it says, Q4.2 entered the zoo, passed the predator enclosure, and continued walking in a westerly direction. Name the major animal enclosure that he will encounter. Now, this is important, right? Whenever we look, I'm actually going to get a color for us, okay? Whenever we look at these questions, it's always very important to know where it is we're going, okay? And where north is, right? So we don't know where west is until we know where north is, right? So there's north, east, south, west, because that's how it goes. It always goes clockwise, okay? So it says, Q4.2 went in here and went in a westerly direction. So there's a westerly direction, okay? What is the next enclosure that he'll get to? Well, it's this one. It's the hippo, right? So if you've done the wrong and you thought that that was westerly just because west is normally that way, right? But we know that things are not as we normally expect them to be. We would be saying, oh, he got to the felines. No, he didn't. He went to the hippo, okay? So be careful that you look at your directions that are given. Okay, so the answer here is hippo. Okay, let's go to the next one. If the area of the elephant enclosure is approximately the size of the area of 4 football fields, okay, estimate the area of the entire zoo in terms of the area of football fields. Now, this is an estimation question, so there's a bit of leeway here, but let's just look at it, okay? So it says the elephant, so it's this little bit here, okay? So it's this little bit here, okay, that's the elephants. And that there is 4 fields. Okay, now how much do you think this whole enclosure would be? Okay, well, we need to think about it, right? I think that maybe about 7 of those, 6, 7, or 8, somewhere around of those elephant enclosures could fit in here. You could be saying, Margie, how do you know that? Well, think about it. If I took that, look, there's probably one there, one there, one there, one there, one there, and possibly another one there. So it's kind of like you have to use like your basic sort of eyesight, okay? And that's what estimation is, this element of like have a feel for it, right? So I'm going to say 7. So if the elephants is 4 fields, and I say that the whole zoo is about 7 times the elephants, it's going to be 4, right, times 7, so it's going to be 28 fields. Now, the memo does give you a bit of leeway. It says that we'll accept anything from 4 to 9, so this is kind of where I'm sitting. Okay, you could have a slightly different answer, but just understand the logic more than anything else. Let's look at the last question here. It's a little bit of a longer question, which we would start to expect because this is towards the end of the paper. So it says the shortest distance between York Street and Colorado Street is 1,6 kilometers. Verify showing all calculations whether the bar scale on the map is correct. Okay, so basically they're telling us this is what it is in reality. Use the map and tell me how long the map says it is. And is it 1.6 kilometers? If it's not 1.6 kilometers, that map is wrong. So let's go and figure it out. Now, you could be saying, Margie, that is the most horrendous map I've ever seen in my whole life. Yes, my printer did me dirty, right? But there's still enough here for us to do what we need to do. So there's Colorado Street, and there's York Street, right? And basically it's saying, if I go from the one to the other, right, which is that distance there, how long would that distance be? So I'm just going to put my highlighter down. Let's measure that distance. Okay, let me make sure that distance is basically 8.5 centimeters. Okay, 8.5 centimeters. So let's write that down. So I'm going to say 8.5 centimeters. Remember, 8.5 centimeters is the same as 85 millimeters. So you need to know your conversions. Okay, let's look at our scale and see what it would be like in reality if we use the scale. this scale here, if you look carefully, remember to always have a ruler with you, 2 centimeters equaling 200 meters. Okay, so the scale is 2 centimeters equals 200 meters, which is basically 1 centimeter equals 100 meters. So if I had 8.5 centimeters, it's going to be 850 meters. Okay, you should be able to follow that logic from what I've done. Now, it said that the actual distance is 1.6 kilometers, right? Is this 1.6 kilometers? No. Well, it's not, because 1.6 kilometers is this many meters. Okay, so you have to say, and this is the part that students always get wrong, is they don't put a conclusion. You say, therefore, map is incorrect. You have to give me a conclusion, right? You can't just leave it. Students do the calculations, they're like, I smashed it. Yes, you did smash it, but you didn't give me a conclusion, and that's important. So give me a conclusion, and we're done. One more question to do, and then we're done with this paper.